Hi there and welcome back to my channel. I'm Alexandra from Sesala DIY or Design, and this week I want to show you an exciting pattern idea. In this video I focus more on the pattern. Even though it might seem like a simple one, I think it will be important to know how to get to this pattern shape, especially since you can use it for a lot of pattern transformations. So that being said, let's see how you can make an A-line dress with bishop sleeves. To make this dress, you'll need 2 meters of fabric and some bias tape. Okay, now let's get to the pattern. As I told you, it's simple, but it does need some transformations. I will take it step by step. I started with the bodice blocks, front and back. I used the basic block version with a shoulder dart for this pattern. Let's start with the front of the bodice. I cut the darts. And I cut some more until the apex of my bust. Since I got the side of the bodice free, I could rotate until I closed the bust dart. Following the side of the bodice, I drew a line as long as I wanted my dress to be. In my case, it was 54 centimeters, but you can make it shorter or longer if you want. I also draw a line from the center front as long as my so-called skirt, or the value that I choose as the length of my dress. Next, I drew the hem, but I kept the angle right because I work with half patterns. And later, when I will open the front, the hem of the dress will be straight. The last modification of the front is making the squared neckline. Again, your measurements can be different than mine, or you can keep around neckline. Next is the back of the bodice, which has a similar outcome by closing the shoulder dart. I started by extending the dart's legs for both. I cut the dart out, I close the shoulder dart, I draw a new side, I added the same value as to the front side, 54 centimeters. I kept the same value from the center back, I drew the hem and the right angle, I shortened the shoulder seam using the same value as in the front, and here is the final pattern of the dress without sleeves and without seam allowances. Once I had the pattern, I was ready to cut the fabric. The final pattern had seam allowances of 1 cm all over. The next fun part was the sleeve transformation from a basic block to a bishop sleeve. I cut the sleeve into 3 parts. For my sleeve, I measured 25 centimeters and cut it. I measured the first part and cut it into 7 small pieces. The first and the 7th are double from the rest. I measured the third part and split it into 5 equal pieces. The next step was to rearrange the pieces, as you can see in the first image. I redrew the sleeve, as you can see in the second picture. The last pattern transformation was to make a small slit at the bottom of the sleeve and make a pattern for the cuffs. Take your own measurements for this part. Again, the pattern doesn't include seam allowances. Next, you can see how I work on my pattern and cut the sleeves. Moving to the sewing part. I started with the pockets. I have the same pockets pattern that I'm using for almost all the dresses. I sew it and clean the edges with the serger. I press it and got them ready for the dress. First, I sew the shoulder seams. Second, I measure where to place my pockets. And I attach it. I use the serger for each side. I close the dress on the sides. I press the seams. After I finalized the size, it was time to finish the neckline and the hem. For the neckline, I used some bias tape. I measured how much I needed. I sew it at 0.75 centimeters on edge. I close the gaps. And trim the extra fabric. Next, I made an understitch on the edge. But before, I pressed a little to be sure that it would stay there. Be careful at the corners. I turn the bias tape under. I pin it. And sew it. But because I wasn't happy with how my front seam looked, I unstitched it and used a hand stitch for it. That was because of my fabric. If you have a regular fabric, you can keep the stitch as it is. I kept mine only in the back of the neckline. For the hem, I used the serger. And I sew it at 2 centimeters. The final part was to sew the sleeves. But before I cut the fabric for my cuffs, I decided that I just wanted my fabric to be straight without any pleats. So I took the interfacing that was keeping it pleated and pressed it to straighten it. I also used 2 small fabric pieces to cover the slits. I pinned the fabric to the slits. I sew it at 0.5 centimeters. I roll the fabric. And I sew it once again. I finish the slits and close the sleeves. I use the serger to the edge. I measure my wrists and cut the cuffs. I use interfacing for the cuffs. Before sewing the cuffs, I had to attach 2 small loopholes for the buttons. I sew the cuffs and turn them. Next, I gather the bottom of the sleeves and the upper part. I pin the cuffs and sew it. I trimmed a little bit of the extra fabric because I didn't want bulk. And I chose to hand sew the closing stitch of the cuffs. I gathered the upper part of the sleeves . And I attached the sleeves to the dress. I cleaned the edges with the serger. So now that we are finished, I can show you the dress. I can say that it's a very comfy dress, but elegant at the same time. I love the sleeves, and I think I will use this pattern more often, maybe with a top. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you have any questions or advice, as usual, my comment section is open. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up and share if you like this video. Until next time, let's find inspiration.